looking at the children face, their energy, their exuberance, their positivity, which makes the teacher like us going. It also teaches you that individual accountability when you are working in a collaborative manner. Numeracy is not only about writing, it is also about the concept.
Hello and a very warm welcome to Great Principles. I'm your host Seema Chhoriya. COVID sent the world spinning, and the educational institutions from around the world embraced the change as they shared new ways of learning. In this episode, Dr. Sangeeta Arora, Principal Kothari International School, Noida, shares with us the importance of collaborative learning and how it can help our students and us. Well, a classroom is one where a true collaboration can happen only when the teacher and students both approach the classroom seeking the thoughts to learn something new, and when everyone has something to offer and to learn from each other, that is when true collaboration actually happens. Let's hear it from our guest of today. What are her views, what she wants to tell us, what are the right approaches, and how and when she actually intervene the students discussions. So welcome to Great Principles, ma'am. We are very excited to have you with us.
Namaskar. Thank you so much for inviting me on this show and looking forward to an interesting conversation with you.
We are equally excited, ma'am, and it's a privilege to have you here today with us. So, ma'am, before we discuss about collaboration and collaborative learning, let's first understand from you about your journey, how it has been, what has been some of the challenging and rewarding times. What do you think made you go in education domain for such a long duration, and what keeps you going?
Okay, I started way back in 1990 as a young girl teaching mathematics. I started from Army Public School, Dholakwa, and then from there I joined APJ School, and I worked there for more than 20 years in the capacity of as a postgraduate teacher for mathematics, and then as a vice principal, and then heading the school. After that, I joined KR Mangalam World School as a principal, and now I am here at Kothari International School working in the capacity of the principal. Now, for me, joining this the teaching profession, I think it is very natural for me to teach. I realized it way back when I was in the school. I was helping my friends if they are not able to understand a concept. I found out that I'm very good in explaining, and the people are able to, um, collaborate with me, or they are able to, identify with me to learn, and they find me easy to approach. So, and I was good at my content, and mathematics was used to be my passion, and then this is how it started. And over a period of time, I've done my PhD in mathematics from Jamia Millia Islamia, and done my MA also, and written at least 6 books with NCRT for mathematics at the senior secondary level. And I realized that I am still at that stage where I've started with. There's so much to learn and there's so much to do. And this has been a very, very fruitful journey. Looking back, I have no regrets. I have only gained working with the children. Uh, and when I talk to my students, and I do say it, believe me, I tell them that early in the morning when I come to the school, you are my source of inspiration. Looking at the children face, their energy, their exuberance, their positivity, which makes the teacher like us going. So the only, I would say, the certification and the thing that make the teachers like us to move forward are the children. And because even if I'm working as in the capacity of the principal, I consider myself foremost a teacher, and then as a principal, because as a principal, again, you are working as a counselor, as a mentor to the teacher, for the students, and for many other people. So now I believe that any person who believe in humanism, who believe in helping, who believe in counseling, who believes that they can make a difference to the young children should come to this profession. Thank you.
Absolutely, ma'am. The very thought that yes, I am the one whom so many lives are following, and my one act can shape the life of so many children forever. This particular thought, is always there in the back of the mind of all the teachers, and this is something which gives them satisfaction and going in this career. This is what I've learned from interacting with so many educators from past 1 year, that how what is this spark which keeps us going in here is the children. And today again the same thing is we are discussing here. So, yes, to all my dear viewers, teaching is such a beautiful profession because once you are into it, you are forever a teacher. So, moving ahead in our conversation, ma'am, you mentioned about that mathematics is your passion, and you have taught that subject. But ma'am, mathematics is the most dreaded subject of all. There are so many kids those who fear this, and parents are like, math nahi aata hai tumko. So, ma'am, why this happens? What happens that children start, do not get the conceptual clarity and they start lagging in mathematics? Why this happens?
You are absolutely right, because you see, even it's not about the children, it's about the elder also. And they say it with the land that I cannot do mathematics. So, but can you say the same thing for languages? Can you say that, oh, I can't do a languages? But it becomes a kind of anthem with many people that please don't ask me about anything about mathematics. I, it's just a mindset which has been keep growing, and because that become a kind of I would say that a popular statement, because nobody is questioning them. Then how can you say that? Because I want to tell all these people, you are not afraid of mathematics, and we all are using mathematics, and we are um, putting things in perspective when we are thinking logically, when we are doing in a sequential way. Right now, when you and I are conversing with each other, we are putting our thoughts in a logical manner. So we are using mathematical expertise here, the analysis over here. So we are using mathematics. The problem is that we consider mathematics associated only with numeracy. You see, numbers, uh, the uh, the arithmetic operations. Yeah, they are part of it, but it's not the only thing that is there in mathematics. Mathematics is about logical thinking. It is about analysis. And when you approximate, right? Many a time, when you are in the market, you are approximating how many things I need. So what are you using? You're using approximation. That is a skill which mathematics is teaching you. I think the people have got this fear because this has been passed on from the parents to the children, and from the teachers also. I would say from the teachers also, because when this the way it has been presented to them, the way the focus is only on the calculation work, then it becomes, you become fearful. But I want to give this message that over a period of time, yes, calculation is a part of mathematics, but don't consider it as a whole. And yes, the conceptual understanding, I would say that what you are able to see, what you are able to visualize, then only you can do mathematics. The only thing is, we are just following up types of question, This has to be done like this, and you're memorizing it and you're doing it. But there is no thinking part in this, how to solve those questions, whether we are only doing that algorithm that needs to be followed up. So it becomes boring, because you are not we are not computers, no, we are not computers that we will follow up an algorithm. We are all human beings. We would like to think in different way. You and I are totally different. Now you won't say this thing to the languages, because you get that freedom of expression there. Now, for the teachers, we all need to give them an expression, that freedom of expression to the children also in mathematics. So, when their logical thinking is being expressed, is being identified, is being appreciated, they will have a liking towards mathematics. Now, in that, uh, there are many, many other things that we can use. The visual is very important. The pattern recognition is another thing. Approximation is another thing, because when you have pattern recognition, there can be n number of answers and no pattern is wrong. You only have to give a logical and to it. When you are doing uh, the other thing like in the logical sequence when they are doing it, or they are the children are working on the different aspects of geometrical pattern. Again, there is no one answer there, and every answer is being respected. So these kind of thing, when we start very early, the numeracy definitely will come, because uh, when we say the counting and all these things, we are only focusing on one, two, three, and writing of the numbers. This is one part of it, because if you go to different languages, you write it one in a different way. Yes, Hindi, writing me the number is in a, when you write down number one, it's different, and in English it's different. If you go to any other language, it is different. So it is only the writing part, but numeracy is not only about writing, it is also about the concept. What is that number one is, what is the value of it? What is the concept behind it? What does it signifies? That is important. So at our school and wherever I'm working as a mathematics teacher, I always go behind, and when I'm mentoring the mathematics teachers also, I always say the we need to focus on visualization. We need to focus on making our children realize that yes, you can express yourself, you can be wrong, do the approximation. Approximation is is never wrong. You have to think when you have they have to explain when they're approximating. So once this freedom is given to the children, where no fear of exactness is there, because we fear mathematics because we think it is exact, but it is exact, yes, to an extent, but not all mathematics is exact. There is a way of thinking which is involved in it. Once it is removed, then fear will also go away.
Absolutely, ma'am. Very, very wonderfully explained. You took me back to my CA classes, where I still remember a professor used to always tell, imagine your own business. Are you willing to shed this money for this return? And then give me an answer. He used to always relate it to life scenarios. And then we used to understand how important it is to understand these concepts and apply them. So, very beautifully explained by ma'am. So, to all my dear viewers, all my dear teachers, parents, maths is in our daily life, and once we start using it in our daily life, giving examples to the children, they start enjoying it, and this is how you can make learning fun also and make them fall in love with the subject, much needed subject. So this was all about mathematics and how we can make it simpler for the student. Moving ahead in our conversation for today's topic of collaborative learning, we would like to understand from you that post COVID we realize the importance of collaboration more. So, how is this going to be important skill for future also? Because now, when since it's a global economy, we all are connected through internet, and children have the entire world open to them. How is collaboration going to help them in future, and how is it going to benefit them today in their classrooms too?
So when we say collaborative learning, you see, this is one of the 21st century skills, and we all have to learn it. No person in this world can survive on their own. Now you are working here. There are many people with whom you are collaborating to make this conversation or interview to be a successful person. It is not only Seema who is working here. There is a whole team which is behind you, and they are backing you up. Now, to work in a team, we all have to learn, and the early we start, the better it is. So, uh, in the COVID time, we learned it more beautifully because we don't have to. That physical element was removed. that we can't travel to this place. It will be too long to take. It was click of the mouse, like both of us are connected. Has been taught by the COVID times. Earlier, these kind of interviews were not happening. It is always face to face. Now we realize this is something that we have learned. Also, through collaborative learning, the children learn interpersonal and small group skills. This is very, very important. I may be very good individually, but if I'm not able to work with a group of people, I'm useless, because nowhere in this world, uh, you can work all alone. Even as you think of any profession, you have to work with the people. Also, it also teaches you that individual accountability when you are working in a collaborative manner. What is my accountability when I'm working with this? So these kind of things are, and also the positive interdependence. This is very important to make a person realize and not give so much importance to yourself, that if we are all uh, you know uh, related to each other, we are all dependent on each other, so we start respecting people. We don't give so much importance to ourselves, so we give importance, we give respect, we give the empathy to all group members, and try to understand each other's problem also, that is needed in this world. Because otherwise, you know, uh, if the people think that they can do it on their own, that kind of respect is missing in the today's society. We think the way we are moving, that respect is not there. It's there in very few places. So that collaborative learning teaches the children. Also, you see, when we are doing collaborative learning, uh, some children, they are not very very forthcoming to interact in a large gathering, but when they have it, they're working with in groups. They that that promotive interaction is face to face talking. They are comfortable and they are able to do it. So this kind of a platform gives them that they, yes, they can interact with each other. Uh, Now, in the interpersonal skills, like your listening skills are developed when you are working, because you have to listen to each other. The assertiveness, you have to assert yourself also. That is there. Decision making is there when you are working collaborative learning. The verbal communication that the children are able to do. The problem solving is there. So this is a very important uh, technique to develop all these interpersonal skills, which, when a child is doing on his or her own, will not be able to develop.
Absolutely. So collaboration is the key, is the road towards the future, towards the successful future, and we all need it. And I think every organization is also the example of collaboration, ma'am. As a head of the school, you are also working collaboratively. You need to ensure that whatever has been the vision of the founders, you have to carry it further. And same goes with
Yes.
the people, those who are with you. So it's no more, it has now the organization has also become a very what do you call you horizontal and parallel kind of a hierarchy. There is no more that structural things now. We all are
I
working
would say
together.
that is a, yes, that is a shared responsibility. So when you are working in a collaborative way, or you are learning in a collaborative way, that becomes your shared responsibility. Now, shared responsibility is a very important thing, because the whole thing doesn't fall on one person. We are all able to help each other. So you're able to cover up each other's weaknesses, and we're able to take the best advantage of each other's strength. So that is also a wonderful thing to learn.
Yeah, and there are so many new ideas put in for one particular thing when you're working together. And when you take up this
Yes.
responsibility as a shared responsibility, it becomes much more simpler. So, to all my dear students, collaboration is important skill to learn, and I'm sure today, post COVID, every school has understood the value. Today, ma'am explained it us to us very beautifully, and each one of you would ensure that the classroom is the more of made of learners, the collaboration of the learners, and not in the knowledge of one expert. This is how you are designing your classroom. The teacher is not only the expert there, even the learners have the chance to speak, to share, and just work in groups. So yes, it's not easy, but over the period of time, children get this habit of working in the group and reaching to the goals, because they have been into this system of just following the orders, but now they have to invent. So ma'am, tell me, how do these approaches differ? How, when should the teacher intervene in the group, when she thinks that no, she needs to change the peers in the group? How these things work in a classroom environment?
So there are many, many techniques that could be used when we are doing collaborative learning. So for this, for example, with the little ones, uh, to complete a picture, you give them a jigsaw, puzzle, and the same material is given to the whole group, and and you are working on the separate portion of each and every material, and they completed the whole picture. So this is again like you wanted to do one thing in the classroom as a project, and you divide that project into say 8 parts, and you give it to 8 groups. They do their individual thing, and then they come together and complete that thing. So this is a kind of a thing that they can do. So for example, for the primary, I was just giving you an example. They have to create their own zoo. Now, every group is given what are the what are the types of animals you want to put down in your zoo. So they can each group will think of something, and what is the we have to connect it with their habitat also. So what kind of habitat is has to be there in that zoo. So everybody has to think about it, and then they create their own zoo. It will be a different zoo, because they are thinking of habitats also, they are thinking of the animals also, and the types of animals also. So then, in collaborative way, they have created their own zoo for that class. So it's a simple exercise that they can do. So another technique is that they can do is about a group problem solving. You get a question, and together they can sit and they can solve it and come out it, and it's a unique problem that they are doing. So say 8 problems together, you give to 8 groups, and they are solving it and they present it. Now at the same time, during that same time, 8 problems have been solved and they have worked it together. The fear of, say, as you're talking about the mathematics, the fear of failure goes down when there are 4 and 5 people working together, because the collective mind itself, and we always say it when we are sitting together, and I'm there in the meeting, I always said collectively we have got more than 100 years of experience here, so we can't fail. So that gives a kind of the confidence. In the same way, the children get this confidence, yes, together, yes, we can solve this problem, and then they can present it out. And it's a learning for the teacher also. And we can also when we're doing the laboratory experiment, then also it can be a peer group work that we can do. Also, another thing is when we give the creative work, if a child has written some creative work, we can get it exchanged, and they can critically analyze what they have written, or in a group they can write down the piece and create their own magazine or their own periodical. So these kind of things which are practical and that can be used, and the cooperative learning is there. Now we can also work on when we're doing brainstorming. So we can ask the children to sit into concentric circles, and they face each other, and whoever comes in front, they have a discussion, and later on
Right.
they present it. It could be any idea, it could be any brainstorming thing. Again, it's a fun way, and children love to talk, they love to interact. And we can do it in a standing way also. They start moving in a circle, and when you stop the music, and they have to face each other, and whoever is a partner, they need to talk to that person. It could be a great exercise in a new class when they don't know each
Yeah,
other, and
definitely.
whoever comes in front, they can talk to each other. Again, this is a collaborative technique which brings positivity in the classroom. um, Another one is that one we call it as a reciprocal teaching, and in this, there is a leader, and one is a person who is predicting a thing. Another one is clarifier. The third questions, and fourth summarize the whole thing. So again, this whole group is there to explain a concept. So one start with it, another one clarify something, the third one put on the questioning answer, and fourth is summarizing. So again, everybody has got a role. The a bigger concept is broken down into pieces, and then they are able to explain it together. We can also work this when we are doing the book reviewing. And I have used it in the classroom and with the teachers also. One big book, if you ask everybody to read, they will not read, even if you force them. And you want everybody to read it. So what do? You divide the chapters and you give it to each group. And they read their own chapter and they come and they share. So what happened? They only have to read one chapter and they come to know about the whole book. So in this way, this is collaborative again. So this is a great way of learning because they know they only have to focus on one thing, but they will get to know the other things. So
So true.
another the collaborative way of learning that we can use. And next is, as you were talking about, you said the peer. You think, you pair, and you pair with each other, and then you share it. So and this is a beautiful exercise. Like I have done it for mathematics again to remove the fear. You can do it with any of the concept also. Let us say I have given a question, and the first person has to just start it. Start the first step. They've done it, pass it on to the second one. They will do the next one, and the third, and the fourth, and it is completed. Now, once it is completed, again, this is a collaborative way of learning. It's a fun way of doing it, and also, as you're saying, it removes the fear. Now they know that the first step is very, very important. The first step is written in the wrong way. You will not be able to succeed. So what you're telling them that in mathematics, that sequential way of writing is very, very important. That will go around for the story also. Now create a story like this. Everybody, the first person has to start. You give any story that they have to think about, and the second person has to follow the first sentence, then the third and the fourth, and look at the story which is going to develop. Now, see the creative juices which is flowing, and see the collaboration which is being done. So, there are many, many such strategies which can be used, which are practical, which can be used in the classroom. And I have used it personally, so I know that they work, and it brings the interesting factor, the positive factor, the fun factor in the classroom.
Absolutely, ma'am. Learning never sounded so much fun as you were telling that. Imagine what kind of product will come out when they work this manner. I was like, yes, this is what we need. Making learning fun, deeper, encouraging not only collaboration, together with it, creativity, communication, teamwork, so many things, so many skills are getting developed. So, today, in true sense, we can say that, alone we are nothing and together we can achieve so much. So this is what is the power of collaboration. So this was Dr. Sangeeta with us. She shared with her experience how collaborative learning will help each one of us at every level of our life and help our students to survive in ever-changing world. So thank you so much for your time, ma'am. I truly appreciate your words, and I'm sure that today my viewers will immediately work on collaboration. So thank you so much once again.
Thank you, Seema, for having me on the show. I enjoyed it so much and looking forward to more such conversation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.